Today is June 9th, 2023. My name is Tom. I'm here with Tony. What is morality? My view is that I think there are facts about what makes humans and animals thrive versus what makes us suffer. And these facts come from a collection of scientific disciplines like biology, psychology, medical science, economics, sociology. I think there are facts about the right and wrong ways for us to move, both personally and collectively, toward a state of greater well-being.
For me, morality, I used to think morality was something based on a divine sense, and I have come to think that it's not rather divine rather than intellectual. I believe that morality is a group of rules that are innate in nature itself. However, animals have their own different rules of morality. Humans, because of our intelligence, are required to follow other rules. Lest, if we do not, we will become extinct. So rather than having it come from a divine being saying, these are your regulations and rules that you should act in accordance to, rather it is our own intelligence that should be saying that, and our own beliefs. Because at the end of the day, if you look at all the different religions, at the end of the day, it really comes down to treat your fellow man with respect. And we all know that as a kind of a mutual assured destruction of violence, so to speak. If I don't try and kill you, you hopefully won't try and kill me. And if we all have those rules, then we won't all die, let's say. And then there's the question of agency, which of course comes with that. If we are to be human and intelligent with our own agency, we can't have other people take away from that. Now, we as the individual cannot enforce this. We can enforce it maybe in our own home, but surely not in the entire country. And therefore, by logic itself, we must give up some agency to a group, such as the government, which will, in turn, make sure that our agency remains such.
I think that some questions about morality are very complicated, but I think the goal behind what we're trying to do is still clear, which is to improve the quality of life of everyone collectively. So I think there are some misconceptions that have become popular about morality. When I talk about the collective well-being of all humans and animals, I don't mean that one person's well-being trumps other people's well-being, or that the most powerful group of people should take advantage of other people so as to maximize their own well-being while harming other people. What I mean is that everyone's well-being is taken into account. So, and that's where the concept of rights comes into the picture, I think, because once we recognize that everyone's well-being has to be protected, and from that comes the concept of human rights and also animal rights. If I take advantage of someone to somehow enhance the quality of my own life, one might say that, oh, well, according to my view, I should be in favor of that because it's maximizing my well-being. But by harming the other person unnecessarily, I'm violating their rights. So for that reason, it would be a bad thing, morally speaking.
You feel this would not be a slippery slope on a moral basis to measure by suffering. For example, let's say you are someone who cannot physically feel pain. As a hypothetical, you would, according to your moral standpoint, you'd be able to manipulate, hurt, harm them, because they wouldn't be able to feel that pain from it.
I think killing a person, even if they don't suffer while I'm in the act of killing them, it would still harm their well-being because it would be ending their life.
It's not okay to do it, in other words, because it's still harming their well-being whether they suffer or not.
Yeah, Part of well-being is being alive rather than dead. And if I just went over to your house and euthanized you in a totally painless way, I'd be harming your well-being by killing you. I'd be ending your life, so that would be harming your well-being, even though you wouldn't be suffering.
And more about the person's well-being.
I think not suffering, I should say, is one of the main ingredients of well-being. There's the quality of your life, but there's also the fact that you have life. And if I took your life away, even if I euthanized you painlessly, I'd be terminating your well-being, and that would be bad for your well-being.
Indeed. So it goes beyond the person's consciousness. It goes more into the realm of not agency, so to speak, but a sense of well-being that goes beyond what we can perceive.
One of our main rights is life. So I agree with you about that that's certainly one of the main ingredients of what we're trying to protect.
My whole morality is one of agency. To take away someone's agency, you must have a valid reason. For example, you can take away someone's agency for the reason that their agency has led to the loss of other people's agency, such as slavery. And therefore, you can certainly take away someone's right to do something because their right take away the agency of people who are just trying to live their lives, rather than be abducted, put into slavery, etc. But what about animals? Do they follow the same moral repercussions? No, they don't.
I think animals still have the ability to suffer. It's important to note that different animals have different capacities for happiness and suffering. For example, a chimpanzee has a different capacity for happiness and suffering than a beetle does. So there's a spectrum of animals going from the least complex to the most complex, and I think we have to take that into account when assessing the moral weight of our actions and how they impact various animals.
In other words, that it is okay to kill a fly, let's say, rather than a dog.
Right. I think that the complexity of the animal determines the rules for how we should treat them. We probably step on a lot of insects as we're walking down the sidewalk every day. But I think killing an insect is very different than killing a dog.
Of course, because they have two different abilities to feel pain and happiness, for that matter. Dogs, for instance, can feel a great sense of happiness, and it is basically unsocial, while beetles do not have that level of intelligence, and therefore cannot feel that level of pain from being disregarded, so to speak, or ignored, while dogs are keenly aware of this. Flies, for instance, don't feel that level of pain, and therefore they're ending their lives, which decreases diseases, so to speak. That is completely morally okay. If their 1 ounce of suffering outweighs the suffering of millions who die, let's say, from malaria, or any kind of sickness, and not just flies, but mosquitoes, etc. What do you think is the ramifications of going against such a thing? However, we've discussed what we believe is the case for morality. We've not discussed what really is the bad of going against such a thing. Because religious people, they would claim the punishment is divine.
The way I see it, there's no metaphysical punishment for committing crimes or for doing things that harm people. The way I see it, it's just a matter of consequences. Actions have certain consequences, and that's what morality is about. It's just the science of our actions and the consequences they have on the well-being of other conscious creatures. the way we treat other people and other animals has a real impact on their brains and therefore on their conscious experiences.
And you think acting in a certain way is certainly beneficial to the mankind as a whole.
I think there are many forms of government that cause a lot of unnecessary suffering and that definitely decrease the well-being of the people in those societies. For example, any kind of totalitarian regime or dictatorship or any kind of oppressive country, by the nature of what those societies are, they're harming people's well-being. They're violating human rights. They're depriving people of freedom. They're needlessly causing a lot of suffering.
Indeed. Absolutely they are. And you think so, therefore, that the only metaphysical consequence of everyone not really going about in the needs that they must is probably either existential dread, if they fear something, or the most likely thing, extinction. That if humans cannot live in an orderly manner, they will die. They will wipe themselves out.